If you've been keeping fish for any length of time, you've probably heard of this whole concept of 1 gallon of water per 1 inch of fish. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today on this episode of Comment of the Week. Hey folks, this is John with KGTropicals.com, bringing you another episode of my Comment of the Week series. I get all of these comments from all of my different forms of social media, so get your comments and your questions in now, and you might see them covered in next week's episode. So let's get right into the first comment. First comment today comes from another Comment of the Week video, the one about jewel cichlids, and it reads like this. Can we put Oscars with African cichlids?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay, so this week's real comment comes from my how many fish can I put in my aquarium video, and it reads like this. At the pet store I work for, we recommend 1 inch to 1 gallon for fish, i.e. a 6-inch grown fish needs a minimum of 6 gallons, sans any lifestyle needs. Is this good to use with your own math too? I know cichlids have a very particular need. Let me start off by showing you something. This Oscar is 5 years old and he's about 10 inches long. He's the Oscar I talk about all the time. He's in a 4-foot long, 75-gallon tank. And to be honest, it's really not big enough. How do you think he would feel if he was in a tank that was only 20 inches wide? So this whole concept of 1 gallon of water per 1 inch of fish is something that's gone on for a long time, at least as long as I've been keeping fish, and that's over 20 years. I believe that this was created by pet store owners just to have something to tell their customers. But common sense will tell you that this is dead wrong. It's cruel and unusual. Now, could a fish survive? If I was to put my Oscar in a 10-gallon tank, could he survive in that tank? I suppose, but is it right to do that? I mean, that's the definition of cruel and unusual punishment. So if you have to have numbers, if you're a numbers person and you have to have a number to work with to figure out what size tank you need for your fish, I got a better one here we can talk about, and I think it might make you feel a little better. I know it'll make me feel better because it's not going to be torturing these fish. So if you're a numbers person and you just have to have numbers to go by, there needs to be an equation involved in you figuring out the appropriate size tank for the fish that you want. Why don't we do this? Why don't we make that original formula just the first half of this equation, okay? And we're gonna add to it. Here's how we'll do it. You have 1 gallon of water per 1 inch of fish. Then you take that number and you multiply that number by 10. Here's how it would work. Let's take Oscars, for example. You're not going to measure them based on what they are in the pet store because they're usually about that big. No, you look up online or you ask the person at the pet store, how big is this fish going to get? And if they say 10 inches, okay, a gallon per inch, that would be 10 gallons, and then you multiply that by 10, which would say that an Oscar should be raised in a 100-gallon tank. Is 100 gallons a little bit big for one Oscar? Yes, but you know what? In this hobby, bigger is always better. So I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below the formulas that you use to calculate the size tank that you need. I'm sure there's tons of formulas out there, and I'm sure some of them are better than mine. Just remember, I'm going to reiterate this again, folks. This is a pet. It's not a decoration. So you want to do what's right for this pet. Bigger is always better. Whenever somebody tells you you need this much tank, get one 25 gallons bigger. If they say you need a filter this big, get one double the size of that filter. You never go wrong in this hobby by having too much of something. So go big and your fish will be happy. They'll reach their full potential and you won't cause any kind of controversy online. And there you have it. I hope that this has cleared up a little of the mystery of the whole concept of 1 gallon of water per 1 inch of fish. It's a joke, folks. Don't fall for it. Remember, if you have to have a number, just take the number that is the result of that formula and multiply it by 10, and you should be safe. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, why don't you click that like button for us? And don't forget, you can click right down here and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss next week's episode of Comment of the Week. Thank you so much for watching this, and I look forward to talking to you again next week with a brand new comment.